We're going to move on to the next guest here, everybody. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box. We got Moon loading in, y'all. It is incredibly difficult to find anybody.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? Are you MAGA? Do you support Trump?
I'm on the fence. I did the first term when he first ran the first time. This last election, I didn't vote for either party.
Okay, how old are you?
31.
31, phenomenal. So if you're on the fence, that means that there's some reasons why you might like his presidency or some good things that he's done that you could identify. Let's go over that. Like, what are the good things that you could identify that Trump stands for, that he's done, or that he's going to do?
Like the previous gentleman said, he had mentioned that the fact that our gas was going down and stuff, that had partly to do with the expansion of domestic energy production. So that played a factor into why gas went down. Also, tax incentives and deregulation played a factor in that.
Are you talking right now or under his first term?
Under his first term.
Okay. So the Biden-Harris administration produced more domestic crude oil in their 4 years than Donald Trump did in his first 4 years. The most he ever produced in any given month was in December of 2019 at 12.8 thousand barrels of oil per day. The Biden-Harris administration produced more than 13,000 barrels of oil per day for a year straight, starting in July of 2014 until the end of their term. So you're wrong.
Okay, and then another reason that I had supported Trump the first go around was his tax cuts and the job. Excuse me, tongue-tied. My child just walked in here. Tax cuts and job acts.
Okay, and why did you support that?
Because it would reduce the tax burden for most of the business people here in America.
Most of the business people. When you say business people, do you mean the rich?
I mean, high middle to higher class. I fall within that high middle, so that benefits me directly because I own my own business.
Right. Well, hey, actually, so like his round of tax cuts to this administration are only going to help the top 20% of income earners, people making over $120,000 per year. It's going to reduce the after-tax income for everybody else, and it's going to do so regressively, meaning the less you make, the more you're going to lose in your after-tax income. So apart from a redistribution of wealth from the poor to the rich being incredibly immoral, which is something maybe I wouldn't be able to get you to see, right? You just care about the numbers. It's also just pragmatically inefficient for the best economy, because we have to remember that 80% of Americans that are going to lose money every single year because of the tax policy are the consumers of your business and other businesses of the like. So it creates an overall weakened economy when the average American is doing less with less money to spend, less money to save, and a lower level of consumer confidence. So that's why you shouldn't support his tax policy.
Okay. The reason I didn't vote this term for either party, and Kamala, the biggest reason not voting for Kamala were a lot of the issues she had while she was in office. And this is before becoming a VP or an actual president-elect. Oh no, I can't hear any audio from your end. I'm not sure if I'm muted.
Hey, sorry, I had to send a quick voice message to my girlfriend. Would you like to repeat that?
I said a big part as to why I didn't vote for Kamala during this past election.
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala, sorry. My bad.
No worries.
Just because of some of the things that did pop up during her days in office. Not as a VP or anything, but well before she was a VP.
Okay, so what are the specific reasons why you didn't like Harris?
Okay, so there were some wrongful prosecutions that popped off in San Francisco in California and when she was an AG in office.
Okay, wrongful prosecutions are like an unfortunate result of a realistic criminal justice system. Now, we want to be able to get like the lowest level of wrongful prosecutions as possible, but like wrongful prosecutions have always existed and exist today in every single county in America.
Right.
So why would we be like saying that some level of wrongful prosecutions was a reason to not support Kamala Harris?
So when you're someone of power, that plays a part in whether or not someone is prosecuted or not prosecuted, and someone is getting prosecuted wrongfully, that is a deciding factor.
Could you give me an example of these wrongful prosecutions?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I have some factorials right here in front of me. Give me one.
I'm just trying to determine like what your argument is. Okay, I guess while she's looking for that, there's a handful of people I could thank here. Cordelia, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. That is so incredibly kind of you, Cordelia. Thank you so much, y'all. Show some love to Cordelia down below in that chat. As well as Ruby with $1. Thank you so much for the love. Z with the $5, Alessandro with the $5, and Kinsley with the 2. I appreciate you guys so much. As well as MMF. Thank you for the $150 donation over on PayPal. Jesus Christ, MMF. They say, a bit late, so a bit extra for that flurry. Way to go, Dean. Dude, MMF, thank you so much for the love. For the $150 donation over on PayPal. That's seriously fucking nuts. Thank you, MMF. Guys, please show some love to MMF down below in that comment section right now. I really appreciate you so much. Thank you. That is incredibly kind. So take it away, Moon.
Okay, so during her tenure in San Francisco District Attorney, there was a prosecution against Teresa Sheenan. She was a woman with schizophrenia who had been shot by police during her mental health break.
Okay, so there was like police negligence. So we could agree that that's bad.
Yes.
What does this tell us about Kamala Harris?
There was a point of connection that was raising questions about her approach, depending. Excuse me.
Wait. A prosecutor wouldn't have any involvement in the negligence of the police officers.
But Harris's office charged Sheenan with assaulting an officer, even though she was going through a mental outbreak due to schizophrenia, instead of going through the proper channels to figure out, okay, was she competent in her right mind to have done so? Or, hey, what are we going to do in terms of where this person should be?
Okay, so
you understand my mindset?
Yeah, okay. So you're saying that the not her office, but the office of the district prosecutors made a decision to charge her. Can you please show me that she was involved in this decision?
So it was her office. She was a DA at the time.
I know, but like she's not going to be involved with like the prosecution of like assault on an officer. So what was her direct involvement?
So I don't know how you guys go about looking up law and stuff, but in terms of like a DA's office and stuff, when things go through their offices, it does come across her desk. She does check off whether or not, hey, we're going to press through on this, or no, hey, this is not going to come past our table.
Okay, all right.
So that's her play.
She gave the signature on pressing charges against an individual that assaulted an officer for assaulting an officer while they were experiencing a mental health break. So, okay, actually, I could agree with you here, right? Maybe in those scenarios, right, charging them, it wouldn't be the best outcome, and that there's some better resolution to the issue here, and that she shouldn't have signed off on that. We could agree. Okay, now we've identified something that Kamala Harris has done in her career that wasn't good. Okay, but now let's see how this stacks up when compared to the things that Donald Trump has done that aren't good. All right? I don't think that this compares to raping E. Jean Carroll. I don't think that this compares to calling for a total and complete shutdown of all new Muslims coming into America. I don't think that this compares to being a 34-count convict felon that is now taking the Oval Office and attempted to consolidate power to the federal branch of our government to send immigrants without due process, violating their human and constitutional rights to Center for Terrorists in El Salvador. I don't think that this compares to fulfilling all 14 characteristics of fascism. I don't think that this compares to relaunching war in the Middle East. I don't think that this compares to calling all black people lazy. I don't think that this compares to advocating for the death penalty. I mean, so can we see here how, like, even if I grant you that that was a bad decision that she made, and honestly, I will grant that, it still doesn't compare to any of the bad things that Trump has done. I mean, shit, I didn't even point out there how he's, like, openly boasted about walking into the changing rooms of naked underage teens and naked adult women in women's only spaces.
Correct. I am going to say again, because I said at the beginning, but I just want to reiterate it because I'm reading the comments as you're speaking as well. I did not vote this term for either party because I was not
still support Donald Trump. But like, could we like see there how like Kamala Harris is a significantly better track record and background compared to Trump?
Excuse me, say that one more time.
Can you see there how Kamala Harris has a significantly better background and character compared to Trump?
Yes, I can see that.
Oh, okay. All right. So then why would you be in the middle of the road? Because you're basically like, what I want to drink? A cup of water with maybe a couple dirt molecules in it, or a cup of bleach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like you should be agnostic between those options.
I feel like with the things that I have seen in the first run through Trump, and then with things that I've read about Kamala past and present, I'm sorry, I keep pronouncing that wrong, my apology. It's just one of those things where when I was pros and cons list, right? You look at it, you compare, I did not come to a space where I felt comfortable voting for either party this election.
All right, well, we're gonna go to kick you out and move on. Let's try to find somebody that does like support Trump, because I want to be able to talk to people that are like in the middle of the road. But like honestly, I feel like most of the time when people come up here and try to run that argument, it's usually just like a bad faith rhetorical subversion to the points that I'll make. You know what I mean? It's like I'll be able to like very clearly demonstrate how like it is the case that you shouldn't be on the fence and you should run as far away from Trump as possible. But like the suggestion that they are in the fence is just a way to kind of get out of anything that I say. You know what I mean? So you'll be like, oh, I don't know. So I don't know.